big hall were about 300 people. All of them are the sportsmen of the national Olympic teams. And they came here to listen to the motivation speech of one of the famous triathlete world champions, Olympic champion, Bruce McCarthy. And when Bruce McCarthy entered in front of the audience, he asked them, "Which of you have a goal?" And about 96% of all participants raised their hand. And then he continued and asked, "Which of you have a very clear, very specific goal which are written on a piece of paper?" And only 12% raised their hand. And at the end, he asked, "How many of you have this piece of paper right now in your pocket?" And only one humble sportsman raised his hand. And then Bruce McCarthy said, "If you will have a very clear goal, which will be in your heart and in your brain, which you will follow full of passion, you will reach everything you want." What is most interesting in this story is that some weeks later, this humble sportsman was the only sportsman who won the gold Olympic medal in the Olympic Games in Atlanta. I read this story about 5 years ago, and first of all, I didn't pay much attention on it. I thought that it is something like another next motivation information, something like 10 tips how to be more smarter, more stronger. But some stories which happened to me totally changed my view. If you remember my ice-breaking speech, I am fond of playing football since my childhood till now. And about 2 years ago, I played in a rather mediocre team, but I scored a lot of goals and was a rather successful striker. And one day, a very strong team invited me to join them. And it was a new challenge for me. And of course, I agreed. I worked very hard. I did my best. And frankly speaking, on my training session, I was rather successful player. But I couldn't score even one goal. I couldn't score even one goal on my official games. And then I remembered this story. I took my tablet and wrote, "I scored my first goal in my new team." And it is unbelievable, but in the next day I scored really my first goal. And what is the most interesting, it was a crucial goal, and my team won 7-6. And when I came home, I said, "Wow, it works!" Another story happened with me some months later, last January. I decided to take part in a Changemakers speech contest. It was a big adventure for me. I didn't practice my English for the last 10 years. I didn't have any special knowledge of public speaking. Moreover, I have a very brilliant, gorgeous opponents. And nevertheless, I took my tablet and wrote. I delivered a perfect speech. But some days later, I understood that my goal is not enough clear, and I made some changes in it. The next 3 weeks was very busy, and I totally forgot about all my goal setting and another things. And in a 3 week, I entered on a stage. My knees were trembling. I couldn't make even one small step, But nevertheless, I delivered my speech full of passion. And about in a half an hour, the chief judge entered and said, "Congratulations, the third place winner is Alex Domanchuk." It really was amazing for me, because I even didn't expect it that I could reach this thing. But the most amazing thing happened 3 days later, when I suddenly came across my tablet and suddenly wrote my notes, because I understood. Then 3 weeks before, I make some changes and I wrote top 3 on the contest. It really was unbelievable. But in that moment, I remember the words of the Bruce McCarthy. If you will have the very concrete goals, and if you will follow it full of passion, you could reach everything you want. And today, some hours before, I took a clean sheet of paper and wrote my new clear goal. But before I share it with you, I will tell you another very important secret in reaching goal. Never tell about your goals to someone else. Because sometimes it will not come true.